Judgment here. I thought I'd start my Diablo 2 Hoarding series by showing people the number of skill grand charms I've collected. The total number at the moment is 161, consisting of 24 Amazon, 24 Assassin, 25 Barbarian, 22 Druid, 25 Necromancer, 22 Sorceress, and 19 Paladin skill grand charms. So for a start, very quickly, here are all 161 skill grand charms. Well, this looks like a good spot. What I have done here is I have filled up the entire inventory with fire skills charms. I'm going to switch to Meteor here, and I'm going to make a note of the damage done as we drop each skill charm off. Here are the figures from what I've just shown you. So there's the number of skill charms, the maximum damage for each skill charm, and I've put them on a graph and I've plotted the equation just to get an accurate figure of how much each skill charm contributes to the maximum damage. And you can see there the graph is a pretty good straight line over the 10 skill charms you've got there. And it shows that for each skill charm was added in, the damage went up 871. Now you can see with no skill charms the damage is about 8,300, and with 10 skill charms it's about 17,000. So it more than doubles over adding those 10 skill charms. Now I'm not certain how many players would choose to have their character carry 10 skill charms, but Agniastra typically carries 5 of them. So the damage there goes up by 8,300 up to about 12,300, or if you like, somewhere an increase of about 50%. Here are the 2 charms that are available to players who either use Pluggy or play on the realms. Now if you were to get one of each of these charms, you would have the possibility of having +4 to skills, and up to +40 of all resistances. Now for skill grand charms you can't even combine skills and resistances. So I regard these charms as being very, very powerful, and I do look with envy at them while playing unmodified single player. The most common question I get in my own stream and on my own YouTube video comments is, why don't I use Pluggy? Well, I just haven't gone down that path. And I've explained on numerous occasions that when I reinstalled the game after not playing for some years, I just patched the game up to 1.14 without even knowing that Pluggy existed. It might be worth stopping to consider, how could you get the equivalent of these 2 charms in unmodified single player? But let's imagine you had an Annihilus small charm and a Hellfire Torch large charm in your inventory to give you a total of +4 to all skills. If you wanted to carry just on skills alone that many skill grand charms, you would need +4 to all skills on all 3 skill tab trees if you were running points in all 3 skill tab trees. That means you would need to carry 12 skill grand charms to get the equivalent of these 2 charms available on the realms and through Pluggy. Now these skill grand charms all automatically come with a prefix, but you can have a suffix as well, and here are, in my opinion, some of the more useful things you can get for a suffix. Life, which maxes out at 45, strength, maximum of 6, maximum damage, which has a maximum of 4, dexterity, maximum of 6, gold find, maximum of 40. I'm not too certain about any of the elemental damage charms. For cold damage I'd prefer longer time duration, less damage, and this one you can see here on a sorceress isn't of much use, but cold damage can vary from 4 to 11. This one has a slightly larger minimum damage figure of 5. Probably the one I would like myself most of all is hit recovery. I only have this one out of all 161 charms. Ideally I would like 2 for this character, for Agniastra, because then I would be able to get her fast hit recovery up to the 86 breakpoint. And you can also get 7% faster run walk as a suffix. This one's not a skill grand charm, but if you had 4 or 5 skill grand charms and each one of them had 7% faster run walk, and you didn't have teleport, I would consider that a useful improvement to your character. So if you wish to improve your character by finding some skill grand charms, where are you likely to find them? Well, certainly in Hell games they can drop virtually anywhere. You can find them by getting them from Pindleskin, but as I mentioned in my video about running Pindleskin for items, I wouldn't recommend it as a method of obtaining skill grand charms. You can try rolling them using the Hoarding cube recipe of 3 perfect gens plus a grand charm. That works reasonably well, and I have got a few that way, but I wouldn't recommend it as a successful method of consistently obtaining them. In my opinion, the most consistent way of obtaining skilled grand charms is from Lower Karast. I wouldn't care to guess or estimate how many of the 161 skilled grand charms that I have been obtained there, but I'd say it's the majority, at least more than half. I've got as many as 4 in one session of running Lower Karast, just while paying half attention to the television. And given that these skill charms seem to be a considerable help to your character, it may be well worth running Lower Karast, apart from looking at the runes, just to obtain skill grand charms. Where to from here on the subject of skill grand charms? I've had to establish second characters to simply carry all the skill grand charms that I've collected, and my Lightning Jabazon Raxka, currently at level 79, has made her own contribution by finding an Assassin Grand Charm from Bale at Nightmare level. And I suppose the best thing I can say about all this is if the monsters keep dropping them, I'm just going to keep picking them up.